Is JARREL from Philly?
No, I'm from New York.
You really tapped into that. All of them, all of y'all did. But JARREL, you really I know that guy. Like I know that cat. I know that cat.
Oh, luckily I had.
You sure you don't know no drug dealers? Because I know that cat.
Nah, I know.
Welcome to Variety's virtual studio at the Toronto International Film Festival. We are here with the cast and filmmakers of Concrete. Hello, everyone.
What's up?
Hello, guys.
All right, so you're here joining me virtually in the studio, but we're also premiering the film virtually. So what is that like, especially for you, Ricky, with this being your big directorial feature film debut?
I never thought I got to get to make such a special film as my first film with a cast like this. So, yeah, my gratitude far outweighs anything that bums me out. I'm just so excited. I'm excited.
It's funny that we're all in our living rooms or in our houses because probably for each one of us, our very first dream of being filmmakers was in our houses, right? So here we are sort of premiering it. I was drawn to it really because of Ricky and the script. It's one of those scripts that when you're reading it, you can visualize it. Even though I'd never seen the stables of Philadelphia, I could imagine it. The textures of the words in the script really touched me. And then the central storyline, you know, I'm the only child and very, very close to my late dad. And, you know, it just really stole my heart. And then, of course, you know, the team that Ricky managed to pull together, that we all came together to be a team was just it was great. You know, some really great people. And Caleb is my guy. Yeah, before he even knew who I was a fan of his on his show.
I knew you from the beginning. I knew about you. You knew about me.
Caleb, does this mean that he was asking you for a bunch of Stranger Things spoilers on the set?
We just had a lot of dance battles. That was pretty much it.
Ooh.
I wouldn't call them battles, bro. I wouldn't call them battles.
It was one battle. It was one battle.
Who won? Who won the dance battles?
I'm gonna give it to Idris.
Well, what was it like?
Just leave it at that. Just leave it at that.
Yeah.
That's impressive because Caleb dances a lot on set. I've seen every take. It was amazing. You go from like subdued, like cool, and then you just pop up. You're like, it was crazy.
Well, to maybe even the score, who was the better horseback rider than Caleb?
Oh. Idris not good.
I mean, I don't know.
We were both had a lot of sniffles. We were sneezing a lot. I mean, yeah. I feel like we were both on the same plane, but man, we have to test that out. I don't know. I can't even tell you.
Well, what was it like having him play your father, the harp to your call in this film?
No, it definitely was a dream come true. Like being introduced to the project, finding out that, you know, that Idris was playing my father, you know, it's like a dream come true. Who wouldn't want Idris to play your father in a movie? And I definitely just was intimidated coming onto the set, you know, because I wanted to be on my A game. I look up to Idris and all of his work. He's a seasoned actor and everything. But I felt very comfortable. He made me feel very comfortable being on the set and communicating and the dynamics between the father and son relationship. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun working with him.
JARREL, for you, Smush, this character, I understand, came to you before we got a chance to see When They See Us. So what was it about this role that made you want to sign on? And then, of course, getting to go toe-to-toe with Idris on screen.
It's actually a lot like what Idris said. After reading the script, I was really blown away. And after When They See Us, kind of, you know, a lot of blessings happened and I was getting a ton of scripts left and right, but I decided to make it a point to pick things that felt special to me and that felt like it would challenge me. So when I read Smush's character, which had started a lot smaller in the original script I read, and then Ricky built on it, and how he built Smush in particular felt so right and special to me because Smush is a character we've kind of all seen before. Dealing drugs and stuck in a life that he doesn't want to be stuck in, but he has so much more meat and depth in him considering he was a horse rider back then. You don't, you know, I don't know drug dealers, but I'm sure that I haven't met a drug dealer that used to ride horses back in the day. So there's a lot of cool depth and stuff to play around with.
Is JARREL from Philly?
No, I'm from New York.
You really tapped into that. all of them, all of y'all did. But JARREL, you really, I know that guy. Like, I know that cat. I know that cat.
Well, luckily I had.
You sure you don't know no drug dealers? Because I know that cat.
Nah.
Being from Philly, what is it like having this story on screen?
Beautiful. Like, I didn't even know that the horses, that whole, I didn't know the story existed. And here, the thing is that we're dealing with Black excellence. These actors they brought their A games and they turned Philadelphia out. So it was great to see them in where I grew up at. It's a beautiful father and love story at the end of the day. And it's something that we need that's universal. It doesn't just talk, it breaks through what, it goes past the Black. It goes into a father and love story that we rarely see. We don't see father on horses, you know?
Especially not on horses. But LORRAINE, for you, what was it about this story that made you want to sign on and jump on board?
Ricky's script was so beautiful. He has the ability to create extraordinary images, and his filmmaking was unlike anything I'd really seen, the way he does it. And so that was a big draw, because I went, oh, whoa, he's got some interesting chops. And then, of course, he brought on Idris and JARREL and Caleb. And I just seen JARREL in Ava's piece, When They See Us, and I just thought, knock that out of the park. And you know, my 15-year-old is a real fan of Bosie. So, you know, I was like, she was, no, Mom, you got to do a film with the Bosie guy. So doing this film with Ricky was interesting, because the way he uses the community in this film, on the screen and off the screen, was, honest to God, nothing. I've never done a film like that. I mean, never. I mean, I remember there's a night that Idris and I were in the truck, and we're rolling along, and I'm driving, and we come to a stop sign, and he had a little blunt, and he was, you know, he was smoking it, and somebody came up to with the window and said, "Yo, man, can I hit that? Can I hit that?" And it was like, no, man. He just kept driving through the stoplight, because where reality and movie met, it was blurred. And I think that's one of the most powerful things about this film, the feeling of it and the visuals of it.
Well, Ricky, let's talk about that for a moment. The importance of including and working with the real Fletcher Street writers, you know, from the time that you first found out about this into, you know, 2+ years of just hanging out down there before you started the film. Why did you decide it was so important to make sure that they were in the film as well?
Yeah, listen, I mean, my goal from the beginning with them was that I wanted to not just make a film that they could look at and say, you know, that's us, that was the goal. But there's no better way, in my opinion, to do that than actually including them in the entire process. I can direct. I know that I'm talented at that, so I'm making a run at this. But I didn't grow up a Black cowboy, if you can't tell. So it's like, I need you to be there with me through all of it. I can usher my talent with your voices and your heart behind it. So it was great. I mean, I think 10 of the 25 speaking roles are real people from the community. 11 of the 14 stunt people, real cowboys from the community. I mean, it's a crew. It was a real eclectic experience.
But how much training and intensive work did y'all do learning how to, you know, assimilate into this world?
Right before I went to Philly, I did like a month of training, just working with the horse, learning how to brush it, clean it, everything, just communicate, just like having a bond with the horse. Like, one thing that I learned is more than just, you know, riding the horse, like, all right, giddy up. Nah, it's like you have to create like a relationship with them. So riding the horse would be more smoother. Like, once the horse is comfortable with you and you're comfortable with the horse, like, everything is good.
I'm allergic to horses. You know, I have asthma, and, you know, it just don't work with me. But this time around, I certainly feel, you know, like I know what I'm doing a little bit. But, you know, talking about the community, all the riders from the stables, you know, they really, you know, they were teaching us all the time. You know, even in between takes, you know, we'd go off to the ranch and train, but when we came onto the set and we're doing anything with horses, all the guys would just make sure our posture was right, you know, the way we're holding the reins. It was a continuous, you know, because we were representing them, and they would let you know real quick that, no, you ain't doing it. And so that was great to have that, you know, that sense of community and just continuously learning to portray the community authentically, you know.
So what does it mean to you to be portraying a Black cowboy right now?
For a long time, you know, there's been sort of like a real sort of mistelling of history around Black people and horses and cowboys and whatnot. So, you know, oddly enough, this junction where there is, as you say, a sort of wider acceptance of everyone's stories, it feels really apt to be able to tell a part of history that's been definitely buried. And in the case of Concrete Cowboy, you know, that history is right now. Those stables, you know, they face being taken away forever. And hopefully part of what Ricky said to me was that, you know, I'm hoping that we make this movie and they keep the stables based on the fact that people fall in love with the story and the history and the heritage of the stables.
That's what's so powerful about this whole experience. We did this before it was politically correct to go for it, you know? Everybody signed on to this because of the truth, because it hit home in a really powerful way.
Ricky, I believe this was in our Variety interview, but I think you said something on lines of Black lives always mattered to me. And I think that that's just a powerful way of saying it, is that this is a conversation that many communities have been having well before, Lee, like you said, it was politically correct.
I think about the chance of getting to make this film. I know there's going to be a lot of conversation around the color of my skin, being a white filmmaker, but I feel an incredible amount of gratitude that for the last 4 years, I've gotten to be a part of this community of people who took me in and trusted me and are dear friends of mine now. All these guys can speak to how close everyone is, even after the film, before the film. So yeah, I hope it can be something that, at least for the future, that we see more stories like this from all kinds of filmmakers. But from me specifically, like, I feel absolutely just full of so much gratitude that I was invited into a world that I didn't get to know, and it's completely changed my lens on and my compassion and my love for a community that's so different from me. And so I think when I look at filmmaking, what it can do on the screen, I hope it can do that. But the process of making this film, I know, changed a lot of people's lives behind the camera, but of all colors.